All right. Is that working? Okay. If that is not coming through. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but all right. Arshay, how are you? All right. Hi, Justin. How's it going? All right. Did any of that previous stuff make any sense? Did I come through? Did anybody hear me talk about the podcast this week or the sketchbooks coming out? Did that all happen? Or did I just talk into empty air? Okay. Did anybody, did we see this? Did we? All right. All right. I don't know how far to go back or not, so this one is a little bit of a busted pod. I'm not going to repeat myself, so if you missed it, check out the new long form. I don't want to bore everybody with that. And again, if that is the case, and then the new sketchbook will be available online at archermonster.com tomorrow, as well as TFCon. All right, so some people didn't hear, some people did. So again, there's a long form where Protoman and I talk about the state of the business and generally kind of mouth off about how things have changed over the years and how that has affected the collector community, the kid toy buying community, probably the toy companies themselves, certainly some retail, and all of that. Man, I'm having all kinds of fun. My stream health is not that good. My son plays with mostly city Legos, and then creator sets, and the high-end buildings and things, but no ninjas and no spaceships. No aliens, really. Kind of a realist compared to me. I believe I will be getting into BotCon on Friday, or TFCon on Friday. Hey, Timothy, how are you? So check out those two things. Check out the new long form, and then be sure to check out the sketchbook when it's up and running over the next few weeks. That would be awesome. Again, 36-page full color movie Posca and G1 images. And then I am going to pack up another couple of shelves today and talk about the artwork and whatever we want to get into. So, how's it going, Bigum? My favorite Lego as a child was the original space sets. I had all of those. I had really cool toys until Reagan showed up, and then I did not have cool toys. So, I had the late 70s Lego space sets. A lot of them, which was pretty cool back in the day. Looking forward to the Volume 3. Thank you, Megatron Fangirl. Yeah, it's going to look good. I was supposed to pick them up today, and I was packing and kind of honestly wore out from moving stuff over the last few days, so I just didn't get out to do it. So I will pick it up in the morning and take some photos and have it up on the site tomorrow. So I'm getting some health warnings. It seems like my stream is okay, but they're giving me a warning anyway, so let me know if anything seems wobbly. I appreciate that. And super chats are always welcome if you have a question that you want to have focused on. And that will get us through the evening. I will probably end on time today, right at 11, so it will be a pretty direct, straightforward one today. Alright, so let's go through. Oh, that's cool, you got Tidal Wave. I really looked at Tidal Wave at BotCon, but didn't need to pack another big box, you know what I mean? So I'll wait to get it on the other side if I get it at all. This thing is pretty big. I don't know what my shelving situation is going to be. I gotta get one, but I don't know if it'll be displayed or not. That'll be the big question mark. My feed here is weird. I can never get that stuff to line up. Anywho, Carnage Creations, you gotta go. Thank you for having a good visit, and I will try to have a good stream. Thank you for the Australian $2.99. It's got to be early there, really early. So yeah, thank you, and you have a good rest of your weekend. On the flip side there. So let's go through it. I got 2 boxes here and some packing material to fill it out so they don't end up with a super heavy box again, like before. I think I'll go through my Japanese and general art books. Mostly soft cover, perfect bound kind of books in this collection here. So, and it's a bit of a hodgepodge because of the size of the shelf. You'll see a consistent theme of size here. Okay, 12 noon. Yeah, you got to go get the lunch going. No doubt. No doubt. These are mostly different art books and, in general, Japan's oriented books. But we'll go through them. I don't know if people are familiar with Josh Kirby. He's kind of a paperback artist from a time before people kind of paid attention. I love his over-the-top, very detailed paintings. But I don't know how well known he is to the general public outside of artist types like myself that are into that kind of thing. Alright, we got another Amano book. Yoshitaka Amano. This is from the Dragon Ball Z stuff, or Vampire Hunter D. Yeah. Sorry, Vampire Hunter D. And maybe Final Fantasy. It's a little bit of everything. Huh. Just his black and white ink work, which is very straightforward, raw. He puts it right on the paper, it looks like. A master of the brush. No doubt. No doubt. Again, he did the Final Fantasy work and created some of the character designs for the old Gatchaman costumes early in his career. He created Vampire Hunter D designs, so definitely well known. This is one of my favorite artists, Katsuya Terada. Little nudie there. He's a kind of a sexy girl anime guy at times. He kind of has a Western interests through obviously his Asian art style, but he clearly was into Dungeons and Dragons or that ilk at some point in his life, because he is into it. got some really strange things. Okay, so here's another art of Final Fantasy 9. This is a lot of the video game, just pre-production art. And I got it largely because of the Amano paintings that he would do for the character designs. Sorry, I've been under the weather as well. Aaron Archer discovered technology. Which technology today? Every day there's a new one. I got my Intron Depot. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with this book, you need to be familiar with it. Masumani Shiro is his artist name, and he did Ghost in the Shell and Appleseed and Black Magic and, you know, so on and so forth. He was known, he's one of the early sexy mecha girl artists. Very cool stuff. Orion was one of his characters. Very, very good stuff. If you are unfamiliar with his work, do yourself a favor. Go find some old Appleseed comics in the cheapy bins. Go check out some Ghost in the Shell stuff. You'll be better off for it. Let's go through a few of his things then. So here's the art book of Ghost in the Shell, the movie, I believe the first movie. You know, all the style guide or storyboards and designs and all that good stuff. So if you were into Ghost in the Shell, this is a nice overview of that work. Here's another Amano. So here's his Final Fantasy painting. Again, the final designs look wildly different than this, but this is the inspiration that he'd bring to the party to inspire what became pixelated, you know, art over time. You know, guy's a master. The guy is a master, no doubt. And he is in his 70s at this point, I believe. You know, so very cool. Have not ever met him, but I love this looseness. If you know my sketchbook style, you know, I'm kind of into this stuff. Okay, that's all of that, gentlemen. All right, then I got this, my Yamato kind of animation perfect guide. I love this stuff for the weird things that you find in these old Japanese books. Like, they're really giving you the animation scale of how they made the Phoenix work. Or not the Phoenix, the Argo. You know, I love stuff like that. If you're familiar with Yamato, then you know at some point in the series the captain died, and there was a photo that was added to the bridge or command room of him. I blew that up and had that hanging in my Kenner office for years. So this is all the animation turns and all that good stuff. So these are great. This connects me to my childhood and the shows, the anime that I watched as a kid. Before we fully appreciated anime, what that even was. How's everybody doing? Any questions? Yeah, con crud for sure, man. I came home and I started immediately lifting heavy things and going up and down stairs and running around like a crazy man for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I wore myself out. Yeah. Sorry, these are going to be some spoilers in some of these books. And if you haven't watched the 1970 series Yamato, do yourself a favor, go check that out. For a while, I also collected, wild Japanese creative magazines. That's a little more than I'm going to go into today. Yeah. Got a Japanese How to Draw Robots book. One of the anime series How to Draw manga that have come out in different languages. So that one matches up. It's just not in English. So How to Draw Robots. Kind of a fun guide through the different types of robots that exist. This was kind of a help during the Armada Unicron trilogy era to see how just different things are done. So that was fun. I'm going to put that with my art books. If you're familiar with this artist, Paul Pope, he is a artist that spent some time. He went to Japan and worked in the animation or manga field. He did his dues, paid his dues, slept there and worked hard kind of thing. He's got a book called Battle Boy that's really cool. He does these really good brush ink work. He does a lot of band stuff. But I've spent time with him way back in the day, pre-Hasbro. Really cool dude. Just, artist trying to figure out how to make good marks on paper. Very talented fellow. Got my... Let's make sure I got all the Asian stuff going here. Some more of these kind of magazines. I still have this one because there's a buildable robot of a Power Ranger robot in here, or Kamen Rider or something. I just haven't put that together yet. It's this guy right here. Guess that's a Power Ranger. Paper sculpture. Kind of fun. This is my favorite property out of Japan, a thing called Kami Robot, where this gentleman has made his own storyline for himself and these paper, hard to explain, paper wrestlers that he's created, and a whole world of them. And I just love this. I just love it. I love it. It's just classic, fun designs. This chart here that I can't totally take out is the years and years of these characters double crossing, getting new team members, evolving, all that kind of stuff. So he's really created his own world, and I just love Kami Robo. Nothing much came out of it. There were some toys back in the mid-90s or early 2000s, but nothing active right now, which is just unfortunate because I think it's really, really, really cool. Hey, Sabertron Toys, how are you? The Tornado Toy Chaser. So is that you that we met, right? I got your name wrong. I want to say Harold, but it's not Harold. Bruce? Is it Bruce? How you doing? Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, Paul did do some Batman stuff after I was connected to Batman. He had done stuff a little bit later. Yeah, very talented, very nice guy. I kind of like, he's a little bit of a moody artist back in the day, but I like that. I like that. He's serious about his stuff. If you're in this world and you're drawing and you kind of just need to learn from the best, this book right here is one to have. Not the greatest binding in this one, so it kind of Some of them fall apart, you know, but if you want to see some of that great Akira work that was in the manga, separate from the anime, of course, movie, just really cool. I like the art more than I like the story, I gotta admit. That's just how it is, but this is a cool book, overview book. Very known, that one. And I talked about my Hobby Japan fetish a couple weeks ago. This is another one with my old info on it, so this is a whole different one. This one is from 92, October of 92, and everybody's excited about the JAFCON 92. Ooh, wonder. So these, like, I would look at these fan painted things in Hobby Japan and try to come up with new colorways for Transformers and whatnot. I really wish I could find some of the ones that really inspired me years ago, but I gave those Gundam books away along the way, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But again, if you can track down Hobby Japan's, you should. Full of cool stuff. Full of cool stuff. Yeah, the JAFCON. I don't know that one very well. All right, now we're getting to some good stuff. I got my Godzilla book that I bought in Japan. Kind of a overview guide of the movies and photography from the films over the years. Really just good overview book to have. There's a fold out poster and pretty nice. I like having just brand guide kind of books to give me an overview. That's nice. How you doing, Proto? Good to see you. Sounds like our discussion is getting people excited. Here's another. This one is more Japanese vinyls. I also bought this one in Japan back in the day, and it is just full of all the old Ultraman and the various vinyls that existed over there, man, and they're just funky designs, and I love it even if I don't know the properties. I'm just inspired. This stuff is cool. Alright. Trying not to fill these boxes full and put things like Legos in them as well. So got a couple packaged Lego boxes here to hopefully offset some of that stuff. Aaron had a field day that time he went to Japan. Well, I went over 30 times, and I definitely bought books almost every time I went, and maybe a vinyl or two for a lot of it. So yeah, I ended up with a lot of great Japanese books, and let me tell you something. The books in Japan are kind of affordable, and then with the exchange rate as it was, I was getting great rates on those books compared to definitely what I could buy them for at a retail environment in the United States would be, double the Japanese cost plus some markup. So a book that say was 25 yen in Japan, and I paid 25 yen with my exchange rate, I probably paid anywhere between $15 and $20 US dollars. And that same book I would see, come through Diamond for $60. So, yeah, I kind of took advantage of being able to buy books when I went, for sure. So now we're going to get into some more American-y type stuff. This was a Kickstarter coloring book, a guy named Jacob Walker. He did a lot of Cthulhu kind of things, and I thought that was fun. So I picked that up. I got my Sergio Aragonés trade paperback kind of book. He's the guy that was in the little margins of Mad Magazine. He did animation on a Candid Camera type show. And then he did one of my favorite comics growing up was Gru the Wanderer. So it was really cool to meet him. And he signed my book. And this is all the way back in '94. So very cool, very cool. I love, obviously, meeting any artists, particularly artists that mattered to me. So this is a nice one for me. I really learned a lot from his work. I am more of a cartoony guy, and his gestural impression was wonderful. Here's a couple of my inking favorites: Joseph Clement Cole, and some Prince Valiant Gary Gianni, which I have some of his actual artwork. Friendly with Gary. He's got the old-timey style. Both of these kind of live in the same style universe. Cole here is kind of very known for his wonderful black and white illustrations. Just inspired Bernie Wrightson, many others. Many others. Again, so when I'm in the mood for that stuff, I look towards, very liney, high detailed stuff. Other times I want paintings and whatnot. Transformers Slag Podcast. Yeah, $60 full color book here is like 1,600 yen. Yeah. It's amazing. Printing is almost low end in Japan. The books weren't overly expensive, even in yen. So even if there wasn't a positive conversion for me with the United States dollar, the books were still affordable. So I made out really well, I thought, because I was just so shocked you could get, so many different perfect guides and anime, and, I wasn't into some of the stuff that was big at the time. So I didn't get the Full Metal Alchemist books. I didn't get the Dragon Ball Z books. Things like that, because I'm just not into those. But that was there too. Wild stuff. Alright, more field guide stuff. You guys know this. It's just the animation models in book form. Just again, great overview resource to have. I like those kind of books. Here's the Darksiders. Joe Madureira's company at the time made a video game. The binding on this is terrible. You can't even open this book without the glue separating from the binding. So this is like a weird, barely flip through book for me. It's got the full video game Monty. Some of that stuff just gets monotonous if you're not into the game. But a lot of good design stuff. That's a heavy book, though. That's a heavy book. That's going to go in a different box. Got some artists I like. Jim Silk. Mike Mignola. These are my American artist things that I like. I like Art Adams. Michael Plug is one of my favorites. He did the still art in the a couple other things he's known for. The monster stuff in the 70s of Marvel. I got all these kind of books, different artists that I'm a fan of. Claire Wendling, French artist. I like her stuff quite a bit. Alright. Now we're getting into some hardbacks. Oh, that box is already too full. So's that one. Books are heavy, people. Books are heavy. I don't even know how I'm going to overcome that. Scary. All right. Have I missed anything? Yeah, the fanzine world over there is big. I don't know how it works. They recycle a lot of paper, so maybe you can get reprint. I don't know. But you can get a lot of nice books there for what I would consider very affordable, all things considered. Hey, Paul, how are you? I appreciate that. I enjoy chatting everybody. You guys are a smart crew. You have good questions, and we can have a good discussion. So I like talking Transformers and in this group overall about toys. Yeah, if you hit Japan, I mean, if you hit any place at the right exchange rate, it can be amazing. Okay. This is another book I bought from Stuart Ing back in the day at Comic-Con, back in 2003. It is an artist, Matthew Lefray, French artist. Again, just really cool designs and things. He did some Star Wars work along the way, and really cool paintings. Let me see what I can find here. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, a lot of art of, not so much finished images in some cases, but you know, I just like that style. Again, I like the international flair, how things aren't necessarily American comic book influence. Got this Weta Workshop book way back in the day, and it's actually worth quite a bit of money now, considering. But the World of Kong, and then there's another one of Kong that I have. Kind of gives the background of how did King Kong end up on that island and all these other creatures that were in the Peter Jackson film, trying to explain the ecosystem of that that island and what went on there. Yeah, it just has all the great art of images, all the different types of creatures that were in the movie. So again, that's a cool one. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, these are my hunted down books to inspire me. So I don't really. I know some of them definitely do have some value because I knew how hard it was for me to track them down. But if I get them, I usually buy books when I see them immediately. I know it's even worse than toys. If you don't see it, if you buy it when you see it, you're going to be all right. If you think you'll find it again later, who knows if you'll ever see the book again. Particularly the type of books I get. So I have a high tolerance for snagging a book if I see it and it's remotely interesting to me. And as a result, on the long run, I don't know, some of these books could be gone quite up a bit since then. Here's another Claire Wendling book. She is wonderful at all kinds of things, but I don't want to just bust her down to animals, but she does wonderful animals. She executes work in a couple different styles as well, both realistic and kind of soft. Clearly very talented, has done animation and a lot of illustrations and things. My friend even gave me one of her small run lithographs a long time ago, which is very cool. To get anything from artists in France, and rare run things because they just don't make their way over here. There's a whole world of posters and promotional fun stuff that happens in the European book signing world. It's not always comic book shows as we know them here, but there's just a lot of more love of the creators and art in that side of things. So there's I've always found I've been looking for interesting things that I see that I just can't get here. Just impossible. So yeah, cheesier. Yeah, definitely check out that last live. Be entertained by my Jim Lee story, and then the subsequent sketchbook. Let's see. Let's a little tease. Who else can we get out of here? I'll make it a little more appropriate here today. We'll do a 3-parter. All right. Part 1 is going to be James Reyes, the box office artist on YouTube. He's got over 1 million followers, I think. Does giant pop culture movie posters and things now, or characters in different styles. Really has a whole thing that he does, and good to see how he's progressed after the Dreamwave work. So that's James Reyes. And then the other side is none other than one Pat Lee. So that's the kind of stuff that's also in the sketchbook. And if you need a palette cleanser, you can get Marcelo drawing me a Megatron. So there's 3 Transformers images in that book. Kind of fun. We'll get back to that one some other time. But check out the live from last week, earlier this week, where I talk about my Jim Lee story at Comic-Con and getting not 1 but 2 awesome sketches for essentially free, which is pretty amazing seeing how that story has laid itself out after all this time. What was the artist's name that did those animals? Claire Wendling, Wendlign, or LNG. Wendling. Claire Wendling from France. El Kevo with the super chat. Aaron, can't stay, just wanted to pop in and say hi. Hey, El Kevo, why thank you. Hope the packing is going well. It is going well. It is wearing me the hell out, but definitely processing things I don't need for the long haul and really getting back into grips with things I do want to have for the long haul. So appreciate you there. Thank you. That's true. The Jim Lee art did cost me a pen. Not just any pen, a Pilot Precise Rollerball black ink pen. So yeah. So that's an interesting one. Let's see what else here. Got a couple more on this shelf. Got Terry Whitlatch. She was one of the creators of a lot of episode 1 and 2 creatures in Star Wars. She is kind of known for organically creating new creatures using the principles of locomotion and movement of animals we do know. So both those books, if you are really into creating new designs and new thought processes, the underpinnings of these 2 books are foundational and important thing to learn so that you really give your creations a as well-rounded a view, I guess, in design as you possibly can, is how I look at that. my original trade paperback of 300, because I was a wild man that way. So really cool to see how they, you know, matched a lot of the movie to this design and stuff. Just quite a tome, you know. So I like the big format version of that. I think that's how this came out. I don't know if it came out in comic book form. This is a book that I've had since forever, of just art, or a photography of Letitia Costa, because I didn't know how to draw women much, and I liked her, and thought I'd draw, you know, use different reference. So kind of a weird book, but, you know, get reference wherever you get it. I've shown this one before. I bought this at a comic book store that was up at Universal City Skywalk way back in the day. And I bought it on sale. It was originally $150, and I think I paid $80 for it. But this is not an easy book to track down. This artist did a lot of the early, I forget what that thing is called. I think it starts with a Z or something, or an X. Did a lot of designing for what looks like Ultraman or those other Sentai type of shows. Just really cool. Again, Japanese artwork that you just might not see on the regular. And I have another artist friend, Tony DiTerlizzi, who did the Spiderwick Chronicles and Wondala, that's on Apple Plus right now, and he did magic cards and a lot of other things. And he's a book hound too. He's got a lot of great books, a lot of books I don't have that I'm, you know, amazed at. But this is one that he's not been able to find, and every once in a while I got to send him the ISBN number and things. He's still trying to track it down, apparently, after all these years. All right, you are correct. 300 was always that double-page spread hardcover. Oh, okay, all right, cool. That seemed right, but golly, so much time has gone on since that book came out. You know, because that book came out 15, 12 years before the movie came out, right? So, gotcha. Yeah, that would have been a pain in the butt to convert. The way those pages are all double spread, that makes sense that it would be that was that big format. Thanks for the confirmation on that. At different times in the 90s, man, they would print all kinds of things differently in trades and whatnot. Gotcha. Good to know. Now, here's a funny one. So I used to work with a guy named Jason Eastman, and he is cousins with Kevin Eastman, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle co-creator. And at one point, he used his money and winnings of selling turtles to buy the Heavy Metal magazine publishing. And I think Tundra also at the time. I could be off on that. So at some point, he went to the Heavy Metal warehouse or archives or storage facility or whatever you want to call it, and checked it all out. And he pulled out a bunch of these 1979 calendars. And when I was at Comic-Con, I was with my friend Jason. We went to say hey to his cousin Kevin, and Kevin hooked us all up with these calendars. These are, you know, they were sealed at one point, but it's so old that the glue that had been sealing this box shut for, you know, an order that you would have made from the back of a book or a magazine, and they would have sent this to you packaged like this. So that in itself is the original shipper, which is really interesting. And then a 1979 calendar, which was also good a couple years ago. I used it for the year. But it has, you know, Mobius art in it. It's got James Cherry, early Joe Juiceco, Tom Barber, some folks I don't even know, Kelly Mouse, Alex Nino, look at that. Really funky, really funky. Clyde Caldwell from Dungeons and Dragons fame. Michael Kaluta doing his own thing before The Shadow and other Metropolis that he redid. George Smith. Look at that, Drillant. How do you say that? Brilliant. I gotta do some research on that. That's funky cool. And then Mobius, you know, and this old school style calendar. So very cool to get a retro piece of artist stuff from the 70s through the Turtles guy of today. You know, I had a very unique opportunity along the way to meet some interesting people, or meet interesting people who also knew interesting people, and you know, really interesting. Yeah, he founded Tundra. That's right. Flopsies. Yeah, I don't know that one as much. I don't know that term flopsies, which is interesting. Oh, I don't do an Optimus impression. I'm better off doing the, you know, the year 2005, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, here's another Katsuya Terada book. This is beyond a book. This is a slipcase adult book. Comes with a printed sheet that you can use to wipe down said book and lay it down so it doesn't get any fingerprints and what have you. Now, a lot of this book is a little not safe for prime time a little bit, so bear with me a second till I can find something that I think we would enjoy looking at. There's one image in here particularly that's always pretty cool. Maybe it's in a different book. I have a few of his books. He was a big early digital coloring and painting inspiration. It's all a little sexualized, but I guess that one's, you know, this is a big book. So that's cool. And then it also comes with stickers, a sticker book, which is crazy, of some of the same images, but like in sticker form, you know, big giant sticker form. Very odd if you think about that. Again, I can't show most of this stuff because of the general inappropriate nature that I'm trying not to violate, so you can check that out at your own leisure. You know, only gets worse from there. What are we saying? How's it going, Frankenstein? I'll be in Toronto. I'll see you there on Friday afternoon for sure. Yeah, giant stickers. Giant stickers. And again, I've never used them because, you know, I want to keep my thing all minty, you know. I haven't opened this one up in quite a while. Yowzer. Definitely bought this one in Japan. I met him at a Comic-Con, and I had him sign. So these are his books as well. I had him sign a copy of this book, if you're familiar with this one. Just all kinds of awesome. I was having trouble finding this book. A friend of mine had it. Wayne Losey had it. I was having trouble locating it. The first trip I took to Japan, another employee at Takara from another group also was friends with him, and we had gone to dinner as a group. Every group kind of took me out, and we were talking about this, and he found me a copy. So this is the copy he gave me. And then, like not even a year later, Terada was selling this book at Comic-Con. So I bought another copy, had Terada sign it, and I gave that copy to that gentleman as a thank you for getting me this copy. So I gave a signed copy away because that's the right thing to do if you're really looking for these art books. This is another one that I really love. This is his book called Zenbu, which means everything. And it's kind of a sketchbook of his sketchbooks. You know, just all black and white phone book kind of thing. Just really just fun stuff. So again, I like to be inspired by a lot of different things. There are a lot of different styles and techniques in this. And that is why I really enjoyed this one. So that is Katsuya Terada. Kind of works in the video game in his own kind of manga world in Japan. And that's not the only book. I have a couple others too, but those are the ones we're looking at today. So how are we doing? Oh, it's already after 11. All right. Yeah, if I had a Zenbu, that'd be a big book. It wouldn't be Zenbu. It'd be best of Zenbu. But thanks, Proto. All right. That was one whole shelf. We got through one whole shelf. I'm going to pull out a couple other things that match up to the stuff we looked at today. But then I think that's going to be it. So I got this Godzilla book. This was the type of book that you would have seen in your elementary school library when I was in the first grade back in the 70s. This book was one of the few Godzilla books in English that you could find at that era. It is full of kind of misinformation at best, even though it tries to give you insights. You know, it's definitely a kid's book. Most of us were just happy to have anything. And then the one page in here that's really the coolest page that people talk about is this one, which is how they filmed Godzilla back in the day with the different layers. So I love this book. I found this at a local Toy Ohio several years ago, and he had 3 different of the books, but they weren't the ones I liked. You know, the Mad Scientist, and I think he had the Wolfman. I wanted only Godzilla and maybe King Kong. I don't even think these were worth very much, but this was everything. everything back in second grade for sure. Funny if they still had that kicking in the 2000s, X-Bron. Nice name, by the way. Yeah, that book's still kicking around in places. Amazing for sure. Then I have like a whole bunch of these hardback novel things. So again, Gary Gianni drew a lot of stuff. This one's not signed, but we worked with Max Brooks on a Major Blood G.I. Joe issue, and had a really nice vibe, and just jawing back and forth, and he wanted to do something, and I kind of made a joke, and he knew it was a joke, but I'm like, well, that'll cost you a signed World War Z, kind of thing. And if I didn't get one, so this is cool to have signed Max Brooks World War Z. This book is so cool compared to the movie. Definitely not first printing, but cool to have him sign it. This movie could have been way cooler. They could still make it and make this movie. But he was fun to work with, and I cherish that. I'm a big fan of his father's work. If you're familiar with Mel Brooks, that's Max Brooks' father, and just really cool to be one step removed from the Spaceballs and Slumlord kind of movie I like. As a kid, History of the World Part 1 was up there for me as a kid. So all cool stuff. Another one, Dinosaur Summer. This one was illustrated again by my friend Tony DiTerlizzi. So he remarked the book. So I have a ton of, all these books. A lot of them have this kind of connection. Ian McKeag, who created Darth Maul and a lot of the Princess Amidala costumes. He was one of the instructors one year at my illustration masterclass intensive I took, and got him to sign as well. Just love having the opportunity to meet some of these people and make a connection, and kind of feel, and get into the vibe a little bit, and I just dig that. I really do dig that. Max Brooks is Mel Brooks's youngest son, and his mother was, Mrs. Robinson, from The Graduate. So I'm sure he's got interesting stories. couldn't help but have interesting stories. I think he did a little bit of Jar Jar as well. Yeah. Did I like Gamera as well? I like the character. I don't know the story of Gamera as well. That one wasn't played as much in my area on Saturday mornings and whatnot. So, yeah, kind of wild. Let's see if I got anything else here. So while we're on the Tony DiTerlizzi, he took the Ralph McQuarrie art and did kind of like a storybook version of Star Wars, if it was a kind of a kids book, telling the story of Star Wars, which is, Ralph McQuarrie's artwork is just very meaningful to me as a child. So he got that book signed up too. Very cool. Just cool to see some of this stuff again. This is the kind of thing I had on my walls as a kid. They put the they called it the Star Wars portfolios. They did one for each movie. I think they actually did 2 for Star Wars. But that's what I had on my childhood walls, were those Ralph McQuarrie paintings. And I still have the Empire Strikes Back one. I don't have my other ones. But though that was a big inspiration for me as a kid, for sure. Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it today. Everything else is a different size, and I've made a mess already, so I got to figure that out. So I appreciate everybody. Remember, we are going to be at TFCon this coming weekend. I get in on Friday. Looking forward to seeing everybody, and bittersweet for sure. I'm making some purpose to go to the Bryce Memorial, or sharing a friendships kind of opportunity. Kind of a bummer that we lost such a core dude to that particular fandom. And I'd worked with him and had dinner with him several times over those last few years, and definitely did late night drinking with Bryce, which was awesome. That was one place I could always just know I could go hang out with a guy and get some liquor and just chill. And I enjoyed that time with him. And I knew he had things going on in his life that I was certainly not connected to or understood. But for those weekends and texts back and forth throughout the year a little bit, I considered him a friend, and someone I enjoyed to go to Toronto to see. And it'll be a little weird this year for sure to not have him there, especially in that back hangout area where we all drank and let the music play, and that'll be bittersweet. That will be bittersweet, but I'm trying to get there for that, and very happy to be a part of it. I'll probably pop in the Proto-Mans and the gang's auction. We'll check that out a little bit, and I'll be ready to go Saturday morning. I might slip something into the auction. We'll see. But, definitely looking forward to TFCon. Since I'm moving to Rhode Island, I don't know if I'll do it every year like I've been doing it. We'll see. So I'm really just looking forward to the break, especially after moving all this stuff around. So if you're up that way, definitely let's talk and hang out. I will be with Daniel a lot of the time. I'll be with some other friends from Nerd City a little bit. And as always, I'll be available at the bar and restaurant. It's a really fun con that way, where we just hang out and interact. And I'm looking forward to seeing Simon, who I have not seen in quite a long time. So we will definitely catch up too. So that'll be fun. And then we get back, and our stuff was already on the road, and we'll do some improvements to the house and headed to Rhode Island less than a week later. So this probably will be the last Toy Armada in this location. And with all honesty, I probably won't get back to it in a substantial sit-down, long-form version away from like a phone version until mid-August. It's not going to be the first thing I set up, and it can't be the first thing I set up. And I also got to look for work and different things. So bear with me over the next month and a half as I try to get my house in order. Maybe I'll pop into one of Daniel's podcasts to just stay active, but that's the reality of moving and all that good stuff. Yeah, a little bit. Came back to Ohio and leaving again, so probably won't be coming back. Not to live anyway. So very interesting. I wonder, it seems like my strength never did get very good on this. And again, volume 3 will be going up tomorrow on the site, and I will have a handful of those to sell before I pack up my envelopes and everything else. And what goes to TFCon will go to TFCon. And so if you want to get this on the early side, definitely do that first, if you can, because I will at archermonster.com. Because at a certain point mid the following week, I'm just going to shut everything down for, again, a couple weeks, as to not have people waiting for things that I won't be able to get out right away. So this is good. I appreciate everybody being here. Definitely check out the long form again that popped this week, where we just get into all kinds of wild. And I would like to hear from you guys as to what kind of the books and the story and the depths of stories. You know, should I talk more about the books? Do you want to see the art? Do you just like my connection to these books and hearing the names? And if you want to look them up, you can. I'm curious how that all comes out to you guys. But with that, I hope you all do well. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and I will definitely see you on the flip side, in Toronto and then after. All right. So thanks for bearing with me. I appreciate the super chats today from, let's see, El Kevo, appreciate you. Sabertron Toys, appreciate you. Carnage Creations, thank you very much. And somebody else was earlier too. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And with that, we will see you on the flip side. All right. Thanks, everybody.